Well, from beginning to end, it wasn't easy, but the Dodgers got off the schneid, got off the floor, and beat the Twins for their first win post All-Star break. And man, that was something. What's up, everybody? I'm Jim Rodriguez, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Dodgers Latest right here on our YouTube channel. We want to thank you, getting close to a milestone in terms of subscribers, and that's because of you. Keep hitting us up with the comments, that like button, share. Let us know what you're feeling. We read every comment. We'll read them on the air as we get into the Dodgers trying to get off the floor a little bit. Finally got a win, 5-2 last night. It wasn't easy. Byron Buxton started the game with a home run for the Twins, and then Carlos Correa came within a foot of hitting a game-tying home run in the ninth inning. But the Dodgers end up winning the game 5-2, stay 3.5 games ahead of the Padres in the National League West. And, of course, we'd love to hear from you right here on Instagram and on X at JRodShow. So Shohei Ohtani hit another home run. That's his third straight game with a home run. He started the game, 3 innings, gave up that leadoff home run to Buxton. Dustin May came in and pitched pretty well. He's trying to get back into it as well. Will Smith, a couple of home runs. We'll get into Will Smith talking a little bit. Andy Pages with a home run. But at the end of the day, there reared the head of injury once again. That's right. Tanner Scott says he felt a sting in his right forearm as he was trying to save the game in the ninth inning. Had to come out. Kirby Yates gave up almost that game-tying home run to Carlos Correa. And, whenever there's a forearm sting or discomfort, that's not good for a pitcher. That's not good. We're going to not speculate. Tanner Scott's having an MRI today, Tuesday. As soon as we get those results, we'll let you know. But Dave Roberts said he's probably going to go to the injured list. And hopefully it's a short stint. Scott, who has signed a 4-year, $72 million contract. Listen, can't sugarcoat it. Has been a disappointment. 19 saves, but an ERA of over 4. In fact, the Dodger bullpen has been a bit of a disappointment. It's a bit of unfair to say, but it's still true. They've been so overworked. Dodger bullpen ERA of 4.5, 4.34 to be exact, 24th in baseball. That's pretty bad. And now it looks like there is no relief in sight as Tanner Scott probably heading to the IL after feeling that sting in his right forearm. So what does that mean? Does that ramp up the rumor? Well, my buddy Travis Rogers over at ESPN LA broke this out. There is strong talk that the Dodgers and the Guardians are getting ready to do a blockbuster deal. Closer Emmanuel Clase, who we've talked about here at Dodgers Latest, having a bit of an off year, which means he's available, and left-handed hitting left fielder Steven Kwan. So it would be Clase and Kwan would come to the Dodgers, and who would they give up? Well, it starts and ends with Josue De Paula. He's a big prospect in the Dodgers system. He's an outfielder, Dominican. Everything starts with him. Maybe Justin Robleski, maybe Ben Kasparis. I think there'll probably be another player in there. But that could be it. And I'll tell you what, this of all the trades, this makes the most sense because Clase is a stud, and he's having a bad year, and he is in year 4 of a 5-year, $20 million contract. And Kwan, he's a good corner outfielder, left bat, 11 stolen bases, has a little pop, hit 14 home runs a couple of years ago, and hit 280. I think this is the move. Will that mean, is that the end of Michael Conforto? Do you put him in the trade in there to send him to Cleveland? I think that's the better of all the trades. We've talked about, Aroldis Chapman popped up at one point in the rumor mill. Yohan Duran, Pete Fairbanks, Ryan Helsley. I think this is the move to make because Clase, year 4 of a 5-year deal. Not a lot of money, $4 million, which when you think about what the Dodgers are paying for the kind of level of closer that he is, and you get a corner outfielder who's a left-handed hitter, that's what you want. The problem is, what are the Guardians? They're 3.5 games out of the wild card. Are they going to sell? Well, because they know Class A is coming up, and that 5-year, $20 million contract is a steal. That's going to be a big time $100 million possible contract. I don't think the Guardians are going to want any piece of that. So this is the time to get rid of him. And it's going to cost because of the year of control they'll have next year and the low salary he has, relatively speaking. That's going to cost the Dodgers a lot. But that is the blockbuster we've been hearing, and we are days away from the trading deadline. Would you deal with Clase and Kwan? I think that's the move the Dodgers are going to have to make because, listen, all those other guys like Ryan Helsley, Pete Fairbanks, Yohan Duran, who was in town with the Twins, I think those are guys that have been talked about for other teams. I think for the Dodgers, they're going to have to get the big splash. And what Clase has done over the last couple of years, 40-plus saves, having a down year, I think that's the guy you get, and that's the guy you march into October with. Even though he struggled a little bit in the playoffs last year, I think he maybe got that out of the way, got his feet wet into the postseason, into the big lights. That would be an exciting move. Tell us what you think about Clase and Kwan possibly coming to L.A. Now, he's not going to win it, but I wanted to give Will Smith some flowers, man. He leads the National League in batting with hitting .326. Had a 2-homer game last night, so that gives him 14. Got an OPS of .980. Catching pretty much every day. Ohtani is the leader in the clubhouse in terms of National League MVP. And PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, he's second. I think it's a 2-horse race between Ohtani and PCA. But Will Smith, you got to give this guy some props, right? Catching, the hardest position, maybe shortstop and catcher, but doing it every day, not missing a beat, was the starting catcher for the National League. And at 14 home runs, in there every day, Dodgers have locked him up. I love Will Smith, what he's done. And with all the injuries and with all the struggles that Freddie Freeman has had, that Mookie Betts has had, that Conforto has had, Max Muncy has had, the one guy who's been there night after night after night, leading the league in hitting, is Will Smith. So let's give him a little flowers. I know he was not going to win the MVP, but I'd throw a vote at him just because of the kind of work that he has done so far in 2025. Now, talk about doing work. Talk about coming from behind. Look at this crazy number. Dodgers have played 101 games this year, and they have trailed in 76 of those 101 games, including last night. They were down 1-0 after the first batter of the game. It's amazing the resiliency of this team, especially with all the injuries and all the struggles for Mookie Betts, who finally admitted, by the way, that maybe shortstop is not going to be in the future for him. Maybe he needs to go back out into the outfield and play right field. Freddie Freeman, did you get this story last night watching the game? I guess somebody sent him a meme of that Coldplay affair CEO scandal that broke out. Well, they sent Freddie a meme of that, but of him hitting the home run in the World Series in Game 1. And Freddie sees his batting stance in that meme video and says, hey, that's not how I'm hitting now. And so he's made the adjustments, and maybe that will fix Freddie Freeman. We certainly hope so. Mookie, man, I think get him out in the outfield, maybe move Teoscar over to left field. That's the way to go there. Maybe make that trade for Steven Kwan and Clase. Lots going on with the Dodgers. Trading deadline is approaching, but yet in 101 games, they have trailed in 76 of them, and at one point had the best record in baseball. The Milwaukee Brewers right now have the best record in baseball. Huh? Props to them. All of a sudden, them going 6-0 against the Dodgers, all of a sudden you don't feel so bad, right? They've won 11 straight. They have the best record in baseball. Okay, pretty good. Pretty good team. And the Dodgers are second in the National League behind the Brewers, still lead the Padres by 3.5 in the National League West. All right, Yamamoto on the hill tonight. Game 2 of the series against the Twins. We got Tyler Glasnow pitching on Wednesday. That's a getaway day afternoon game. Thursday off, then a big road trip for the Dodgers. They go to Boston, followed by Cincinnati, and then Toronto. It's going to be a wild series. Wild series is coming up for the Dodgers. 9-game road trip. Trying to hold off those pesky Padres who beat the Marlins in Miami last night. Tough game for them. Padres won that game 2-1. Lots going on. Trading deadline games. Hell, be with us right here on Dodgers Latest. Follow us, like, subscribe, give us your comments. We read them every day here at Dodgers Latest. I'm Jim Rodriguez, and remember, it's always time for Dodger baseball.